everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are here as part of the Daily Connections conversation. Today is Friday. I don't know who else was woke up this morning going, oh my goodness, finally we made it to Friday again. But it is Friday, the 17th of April. And for many of us, it's been over a month now that we've been involved in quarantine or in social distancing or in a material change in the way we do things. We here at Your Clear Next Step have been committed to hosting these meetings every day. The chance is for a chance to get together to have some positivity in our day, have some chance to talk about some tips that are things that are affecting all of us and how we can work through them, useful suggestions for the course of the day, and then a chance to connect with each other. And especially on Fridays where we open it up and everybody has a chance to introduce themselves and network a little bit more. My name is Sanika Waugh, and I am delighted to be your moderator for this conversation. And this is just a joy for me. This is part of my commitment at Your Clear Next Step to make everybody's workday just a little bit better so that we can have better evenings and better weekends, and we can contribute to making better communities in our free time. So today we're going to end on a high note. I'm just going to speak for a couple of minutes today, but I need to get you ready because some of you need to like tune me out because you need the time to reflect on this. But I'm going to ask everyone, part of your introduction and part of your connection time today is to share something that you have accomplished. Something that you have accomplished. It could be this week, it could be today, it could be this month, something that you've accomplished that you're proud of. Jot it down, get your subconscious thinking about it, and let's look at what we've accomplished. Ways to kind of spark that thought process. Think about maybe something you got done today that you feel good about, or this week, or this month, or last month, because we're in April now, maybe something you got accomplished in March. Take a tour, right? Think about in your work, what'd you get accomplished at work? What'd you get accomplished in your family? What'd you get accomplished with your social connections, your family or friends? What did you get accomplished in your house? In your yard, anything goes, right? Anything is fair game, and that's what I'd love to have us talk about is share our accomplishments. Now let me talk about why. Why do we want to share our accomplishments? They are ways to continue to propel us forward. They are ways to keep moving forward in a forward-minded, in a positive-minded outlook. They allow us to keep moving forward. So if anyone on the, I'll sort of adjust to some different audiences here. If anyone on the call is a list maker, or anyone listening to this is a list maker, you know that the kind of the adrenaline rush you get from checking something off a list gets you that spark to go and to be able to check the next thing off the list. This is why I personally, who am an avid list maker, on those days when I know I have a whole lot of stuff that I've got to get done, I'll actually add wake up and take a shower and eat breakfast. I'll add those to the list so I can get that power, that surge, that energy that comes from checking stuff off the list. So if you're not a list maker, maybe you're a doer. Maybe you just love the rush of doing something that you love, or the sense of peace or the sense of accomplishment that comes when you've completed something. So maybe you get that void, that vacuum that, oh, something is done, I get to do something else. So focusing on what we've just accomplished then allows us, if we're doers, to have that void and that moment of going, I get to tackle the next thing. So busy people, if you find yourself one of the busy ones, preaching to the choir here, I'm sure, but busy people, if we forget to focus on our accomplishments, if we forget, we're going to lose that lift. We get caught in this spiral, in this spin, like a hamster on a wheel, and we forget to enjoy that lift that comes from internal or external praise. And we can get a better lift if we stop and praise and celebrate. If you're working on a project that involves change in any way, you're not going to be able to bring other people along in your next change unless you stop and you celebrate how far we've come in this change. How about the even better people, the continuous improvement people, those who are relentlessly focused on moving forward and making it even better, right? I'm a fan of this. I'm an advocate for even better. You know this about me. But one of the things that happens when we focus so hard on even better and on the next one being even better, sometimes we forget to pause in the moment and celebrate how far we've come, and celebrate how far the people around us have come. And sometimes it may not be for me. It may not be for me personally that I have to stop and celebrate how far we've come, but it may be for you or the person standing next to me. This has never been more clear for me than one day at a track meet. I was out watching my daughter run track, and she'd done a nice job, and then one of her teammates was on the meet as well, and the teammate had this like stellar run. It had been one of her best times through the hurdles or whatever it was. And she'd gone through it. She'd just really, really outstanding job. And her mom happened to be standing next to me. And the mom looked at me, she says, "Oh, wasn't that fantastic? She just did a great job. That was her best time ever. I bet she feels so good. I'm so proud of her." And then she very quickly moved on to, okay, how does she get even better for next time? So that by the time the daughter came and stood next to us and was chatting with her mom had already moved past celebration, was on, all right, now for next time, let's do this and let's do this and let's do that. And the kids looking at her like, "Mom, that was my best time ever." And so the fact that she didn't stop and celebrate the accomplishment, didn't quite celebrate it quite long enough. And I, I vouch for the mom. I'm like, no, she celebrated. It's right here. I was here. I heard her. But in case there's not the right person there to hear you, we really need to make sure we celebrate those accomplishments so that those who have been working really hard on this can feel that sense of accomplishment, especially if we're working on a team or in a family environment or with a group of people. There are some other folks on the phone right now, right? There are those of you who are listening right now. There are those of us, or you, I can't claim to be one of these, but there's some folks who said, with this extra time that we're going to have with COVID-19, with this being housebound, or with the extra time and the extra cancellations, I'm going to tackle that home improvement project. I'm going to write that book. I'm going to, whatever it was, get myself in shape, whatever those things were. There are some folks who set out 3 or 4 weeks ago and said, this is it, I'm going to do this big accomplishment. And I would love to hear how far you've come. And even if you haven't finished, tell us how far you've come. Tell us, share and celebrate how far you have come in that journey. And for the other side, right, those who are looking at folks like that going, nope, that is not me. I'm just going to try and survive this. Stop for a second and consider what you have accomplished, because chances are you have accomplished things too, and it will help alleviate some of that, I don't even know what the word is, but that guilt, that artificially imposed guilt that we create when we compare ourselves to someone else, and we're like, that other person is so much more capable than we are. And I think we can turn in some really negative spaces when we let that happen. And if instead of going, well, that person, said they were going to write a book and look at what they've done, if I can just not do the comparing game for a second and just focus on what I've actually accomplished, I think at the end of the day, I can have a better weekend. So that's what we're out about today. We are about all of the reasons that it's good to celebrate accomplishments. This is not, I'm not necessarily saying that we lose our sense of humility in this. I'm not saying we're comparing and saying we're better than anyone else. That is not what this is about. This is about taking a moment and a breath of fresh air and saying, I really did accomplish something. Celebrate that with me.